So, the first huge mistake international students from Africa can make here in America is only hanging out with people from a similar background. Why do you think that's important, Winnie?
I think it's important to hang out with people from a diverse background because, first of all, you're in America and the United States is extremely diverse. We have people from India, people from China, from Japan, people from Nigeria and Ghana, and just different, diverse background. And I think for a lot of us, we might not have enough finances to kind of travel to these different countries to experience life in their country. But when these people are in the United States studying with you, this is an amazing opportunity to kind of learn from them, to learn about their experiences, to learn about their culture. One of my friends always tells me the United States is like a small UN. I don't think it's like a small UN. I think it's like a big UN. But with
Yeah.
that, it just means that we have people from different, different walks of life. So I think just the opportunity you should we should all use this opportunity, or current international students should use this opportunity to kind of embrace that diversity, because you get to learn, and there's so much power in knowledge. There's so much power in learning about different places. Because after studying in the United States, you don't know, you might find a job in a different country. So if you kind of use the opportunity while you were in school to kind of talk to people from different backgrounds, that would also help you as well. Embracing people from different backgrounds give you what's called, I think it's like cultural competency,
Mhm.
which is just the understanding or a better understanding of people from different countries. So I just think it's extremely important to have. I know as international students, a lot of times it's easier to relate. It's easier to hang out with. It's easier to make friends with people who are from the same country as you. But diversity is something that's extremely important. So I think that's something us as international students should try to embrace as well.
Yeah, I affirm this in my observation. Most international students coming to America stay in their bubbles. They stay with
Mhm.
people that are like them, that speak their language.
Mhm.
And it's great to have that, but you need to also step out, meet other people, and you'll get more opportunities and
Mhm.
have more fun, make more memories, have more
Mhm.
adventures, and especially for your career. The more people you know that are
Exactly.
different from you here in America, the more chances you'll have to succeed in your studies and your career. So definitely branch out as well. Hey, friends, in this video, we're covering the 6 biggest mistakes that Africans can make studying abroad here in America as international students. Don't miss it. Hey, friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. I'm Rob, and at Chine Coaching, we love helping people to thrive and succeed in their cross cultural journeys, especially with study abroad, like places here in America. And in this video, we're talking about huge mistakes, giant mistakes that international students make, specifically from African countries and African culture. So we have the amazing Winnie Bush, who just recently got married back in Nigeria, now is here back in the States. So congratulations on your marriage, and please introduce yourself.
Hello, hi Rob. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Winnie Bush, and I am originally from West Africa, Nigeria. So I moved to the United States 8 years ago for my studies. I moved here when I was 16 to do my bachelor's program at Jackson State University, which I studied journalism or multimedia journalism. And then after that, I moved over to Kent State University to study a master's in higher education administration because I love, love, love working with colleges. I love working with college students. So currently, I work at Kent State University as a program coordinator for the Women's Center. So I am just excited to be here with you guys today. I'm excited to talk about these mistakes because let me tell you, it was some of the mistakes that I made as well in my journey as an international student. So thanks again for having me, and I look forward to talking to you all.
Yeah, love having you here and super excited for this conversation. So, the second biggest mistake that international students can make is not understanding the immigration laws. Why is that crucial?
Very important because I don't know about you guys, but when I first moved to the United States, I was always scared. Oh my gosh, will I get deported over little things? So I think it's very important to kind of understand the immigration laws so you're not getting yourself in trouble. A lot of times, at least for most universities, in my understanding, in attending school, but also in working at universities, we have what's called an international student orientation. So this is when different universities in a national office go over like the rules and regulation of, studying at their institution, but also studying in the United States as well. They talk to you about what it means to be in status, out of status, They talk to you about, working. Are you able to work on campus? Are you not able to work? So I think that's the first thing. Familiarizing yourself with immigration laws is first attending that international student orientation, because there you're getting accurate information from your university's representative, who are telling you these are the things you need to do to be in good standing at this university. Because if you don't, like, you might get deported. I know a lot of us are very fearful of the D word, but let me tell you, it's a possibility. Because I know, like, there are a lot of regulations. For example, international students were only able to work 20 hours on campus, during the school year. And then typically, I think during the summer term, you're able to work off campus as well, able to work more than 20 hours. But that's something that you need to hear from your school's representative, to know better about. So that's just some of the things I think about when, making sure that you're just obeying immigration laws, so you're not getting in trouble over things that you honestly had no clue about.
Yeah, I agree. In America, the rules and laws are very strict. I know in other places in the world, it's a little more flexible. But anytime you're a guest in another country, you are responsible for knowing your visa status.
Mhm,
You are responsible for immigration laws. I've been to about 30 different countries around the world. And so it's my
mhm,
job in another country to know what I have to do to follow the rules. And same as when you come to America. So, and if you break the rules, it's your fault. It's not the country's fault. And there can be
mhm,
consequences. So you want to avoid that. Do your research, know the laws. And so our third mistake, our third struggle that people face is missing out on resources, not
mhm.
knowing how to ask for help, and really struggling in getting information. So, how can people get better at that, Winnie?
I'd say it's just, I think, like I mentioned in the previous point about attending international student orientation, but there are other things like that. Different universities have, for example, I work in what's called student affairs department. So student affairs department, that could be like your residential life department, that could be your student success. So these universities have different departments that are there for student success, that are there to make sure that you're successful. We're there to make sure that you graduate on time. So things like that. So making sure that you're utilizing those resources, you're going to those offices to ask questions. For example, at my university, Kent State University, we have like counseling centers. Um, so counseling centers, like if you're struggling mentally, you can go to them and they can assist you as well. But we also have like tutoring services as well. So if you're struggling in your classes academically, you can go to them and say, "Oh, hi, whoever, I'm really struggling in mathematics. I'm struggling in chemistry or biology, and I would need, extra like tutoring opportunities. I wanted to see what's available," and they'll let you know. Also, they have career offices as well, career center, where these people can help you review your resume. They can help you review your cover letters. They can help you in figuring out even what job sponsor, because that's another thing international students have to worry about, is figuring out sponsorship afterwards. So these different offices, making sure that you're going to them, could be really helpful. And there are two other offices I think on my campus at Kent State that I really like. One's called the food pantry. So for those international students who come in and you're just struggling, you can't figure out, what grocery stores to buy food, or maybe you come in and you don't have food just to get you started. Like at our university, we provide a pantry, which I've seen at a lot of other universities as well.
Hmm.
So it's important to kind of talk to people. It's important to ask for help, to tell people that you're struggling so they know. And then the last office I wanted to mention is we have, which is something that's in my office and something that I'm responsible for. We have what's called a career closet. So our career closet, basically, if you need professional outfits, if you need like a suit and tie or a skirt, let's say you have an interview for a job, or you're going to a conference and you don't have a professional attire to wear, that's something my office can assist you with. So this is just for Kent State University. I am sure there are numerous universities in the United States, and a lot of them have resources like this. But it all starts with you asking questions. A lot of universities as well have organizational fairs. So they have where um, all the different student organizations would go out to, like, they'll have a table to talk to you about what they offer. But also we have departments in their university who will be at those fairs. So just making sure that you're asking for help, you're telling people, I need help in this area. And I know sometimes it's very you feel extremely vulnerable to ask people for help. But truly, if you don't ask for help, and this is a foreign land, because a lot of times international students come here and you don't know anyone. You don't have a brother, a sister, a mother here. Like, it's just you. So just be open to asking people for help. Ask questions. Try to kind of push yourself out of that comfort zone of not asking, because if you don't ask, truly, who's going to help you?
Yeah, I'm so thankful for all the people around the world who've helped me whenever I was
Hmm.
traveling or working other places, but I still had to ask. And same as here. If you go to the colleges here in the States, there's more resources than you'll ever learn about, but all you have to do is ask, whether it's mental
Hmm.
health, physical,
Hmm.
studies, job search, clubs and organizations, you name it, there is help for it. Just ask, and there'll be someone in the university who can point you to the right place, the right office, and amazing people who are going to help you thrive and succeed. Just, yeah, ask those questions, get the help you need, and make sure you're having a fun, healthy, strong, successful time here in America. If you want to get admitted into outstanding universities abroad, then you need to check out the Collegiate Mentorship Program. This unique college prep program has everything you need to get into your dream college. You will receive one-on-one mentorship from top university professors, lecturers, and researchers specifically in your field and industry of interest. You'll expand and apply your knowledge on academic subjects in ways not possible within your current school courses. You will also get access to over 125 professors and researchers from top universities in the US and UK, like Harvard, MIT, Columbia, Cambridge, Oxford, Duke University, UC Berkeley, and many more. Connect with the Collegiate Mentorship Program to get the learning, research, and internship opportunities needed to earn admissions into the world's elite universities. So another difference that's kind of especially with American culture, that makes a really big mistake, our fourth mistake, is not planning ahead. So why is planning and planning ahead crucial, and why do international students struggle with planning ahead?
I always tell people it's very important to plan ahead. Like, I think as you come into the United States, you might take that first year, I would even say first semester, just to kind of, actually, this is something fun my mom told me when I was coming to the United States. She told me, as you go, you have to limp before you walk. And basically, that means that you have to take the time to learn about the university. You have to take the time to learn about the community you will be living in. And then after a while you start walking, makes basically meaning that you kind of learn, you know about how to navigate in those situations. But I think as an international student, it's very important to be strategic. You have to plan ahead, especially if you're someone who's planning on staying here, finding a job here afterwards. So you have to kind of figure out, like, making sure that you're having the right choice of major, and making sure that you kind of start thinking about, what kind of companies do you want to work for, because that will also inform you on what kind of extracurriculars you should be taking part of. That would also inform you what kind of internships you should be taking part of. But so for me, planning ahead is just looking at the bigger picture. I know a lot of us are like, I want to take it day by day. And yes, I love taking it day by day. But I think, you really do have to be strategic, because immigration is a big part of a challenge that a lot of international students face, especially for those who want to stay here, because a lot of us don't understand, like, OPT, which is optional practical training. There's also the H-1B visa, which is, it's a work visa basically for those. Typically, they give it in 3 years increments for 6 years. Having a company or asking a company to sponsor you it's a massive responsibility on the company. So I just think in planning ahead, you're able to kind of making sure that you are taking part in things that make you stand out. You're taking part in things that make you like part of that higher category for them to be willing to sponsor you.
I know people come with all these dreams and aspirations of,
Hmm.
I want to do this and study this and travel here, and they
Hmm.
think that it's just going to happen. But if you don't plan it,
Yeah.
amongst all your busy schedule and free
Hmm.
time, it's not going to happen. So plan
Exactly.
ahead is going to help you really achieve those goals. My friends, if you're loving this video, learning a lot, give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Winnie, sharing her advice, hopefully to protect you guys from making these mistakes
Hmm.
on your own and learning from those who've gone before you. And our chai question for you guys is, what are you guys nervous about for studying abroad? What questions do you have? What are you nervous about? What are rumors you've heard? Tell us in the comments. We want to know what things that kind of challenges that you might be facing or have heard about. Maybe we can help you out or link some other videos or cover those topics again. So let us know what you're feeling nervous and worried about for studying abroad, and maybe we can help you guys understand how to make those mistakes as well. So another big mistake, our fifth one, is dealing with finances, budgeting, and why is money and finances important and a struggle for students?
This is a big one. I think for Africans, it's like for Africans and for Africans who are interested in coming to the United States, it's a really big issue. Something I've started hearing a lot of, which I get really annoyed by, is sometimes I hear from African students like, oh, I just want to get to the US. Once I get here, I'll figure it out. That is not the
Mm,
mentality to have. Like, tuition is no joke. The United States is not like, I feel like, especially in Nigeria, like, I think you could be like, oh, I owe you, or you can take things out on credit, or you could be like, oh, I owe you $50,000, but I'll pay, I'll pay. Like, the United States, they expect tuition when they expect tuition. So I think with that, I just think a lot of international students, a lot of African international students, have to kind of plan their finances better. So, for example, if you know that finances is a big thing for you, you don't think you'll be able to afford tuition. There's scholarships that you can look into. There's grants that you can look into. So, just making sure that you kind of plan your finances that way, I think, is a good start. I also think even when you get here as well. So let's say, for example, you were able to get a sponsor. So there's someone who's covering your tuition. It could be your parent, a family member, or your government. So whoever is sponsoring your tuition, that's awesome. But you might feel um, you might still need money for extra things. So you might need like just pocket money, or you might need money for food. So just making sure that you're kind of planning your finances in a way of like, don't be eating out every day. I know we like to eat out. Like my
mhm,
place is Texas Roadhouse. I could go there every day of the week and feel great. But as an international student, if you know you can afford places like that, like don't make sure that those are things that you're budgeting for. Basically, if you want to play sports, you need to buy some sort of attire, like making sure that you're budgeting well for that. Because you don't want to end up homeless. You want to have a place to live. But I think for African students, really the biggest challenge with finances that I see us navigating is figuring out tuition. And for that, my advice is always apply for scholarships. Like there are so many, I'm telling you guys, so many universities that offer either fully funded scholarships or even partial scholarships as well. So just making sure that you're doing your research again, into those universities to see what funding they have for you, but making sure you're also budgeting. Another thing to, even when you're applying as well, you also have to kind of make some budget as well. So which is stuff you already knew, but just making sure you're budgeting well as a current student, whether it's for the different extracurricular things you want to do, whether it's for tuition, so making sure you're budgeting. But if you need any scholarship, a lot of times universities might even have what they call emergency grants or emergency scholarship. So if there are like things, I know like our university, we have some of those through the international office, but we also have, I can say they have a care center as well. So that office also have some emergency funds. But this is not something that can be given to you every month. It's just when emergencies arise. So you
mhm.
can utilize that as a resource as well. But just making sure you're budgeting your finances better, I think, is a really great tip.
Yeah, you're spot on. For most international students, America is very expensive with
Mm-hmm.
tuition, cost of living, groceries. So, yeah, knowing where your money is going, not wasting it, having a plan
Mm-hmm.
with it is super important. And our sixth big mistake, our last one that is really important, is taxes. Some students forget or don't know that you fill out taxes, some do it wrong. And what kind of struggles can that cause for them?
So many struggles. I think I don't even know if I'm the best person to talk about taxes, but I just wanted to make sure it was one of the reasons I listed because it was one of the challenges that I had to navigate when I first moved to the United States. I honestly I didn't know anything because I've never filed taxes back home. So I didn't know, like, I just didn't know. And then, until I think what actually struck me was when I started hearing a lot of like celebrities who were going to prison for evading taxes. And I was like, oh my
Mm,
gosh, I was like, I'm not no celebrity, but I ain't trying to go to prison either. I'll be deported. So filing your taxes is extremely, don't let me scare you, you guys. But filing your taxes is extremely important. Again, I think this is something that you can talk to your international office about. They typically, like our international office, they don't file taxes for you, but they kind of give you resources on different places in the community that is able to help you file your taxes. And then typically after a while, there's other like websites, but I think things like TurboTax, but that's after a while. I think as a new international student, I don't believe, at least from my experience, I wasn't able to use TurboTax. Like I said, just talk to your international office, talk to that ISSF team, because they're the ones who will give you the most accurate information on how to navigate filing your taxes.
Definitely. And even if you've not earned any money, you actually still
Mhm.
need to file your taxes as a formality, which students miss out on. So we've actually made a video on how to file your taxes as an international student with tips and resources. And again, your international student office can help us as well. But we'll have a link to learn more about filing your taxes the right way. Don't forget, it's important. You can get in trouble or it'll catch up with you. So it's a very simple thing to do. So don't worry about it too much. Also, don't forget to connect with the Collegiate Mentorship Program to get the tools and mentorship for studying abroad at your dream university. We'll have links in the video description and comments. And my friends, we've made another awesome video with Winnie, 4 kind of expert tips for people who are planning to study abroad here in America from Africa. If you're beginning your journey, considering it, check that out. Really helpful video, kind of pairing with all these mistakes that you want to avoid. And Winnie herself has an amazing YouTube channel, great resources covering all the aspects of studying abroad, being an international student. Please go
Mhm.
check out her channel, subscribe, learn from her as well. And Winnie, thanks so much. I've learned a ton. You've covered really important topics, and I appreciate you sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, indeed. Friends, you can connect with us more online on social media like Instagram, LinkedIn. Make sure you're subscribed to our Chine Coaching e-newsletter as well. And we love having you being part of the Chine Coaching community. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.